right, Unit 6, Lesson 2, Reasoning about Context with Tape Diagrams. So we're going back to tape diagrams. I can explain how a tape diagram represents parts of a situation and the relationships between them. I can use a tape diagram to find the unknown about a situation. Okay, so I want you to give a notice and wonder about this. So what do you notice? I notice oops, I need my drawing tool. There are 4 sets of A plus B in the first diagram. And I wonder why are the boxes different sizes? Okay, so what are some possible values for A, B, and C in the first diagram? How did you decide on those values? Well, let's keep it small. So if I make A1 and B2, I don't want to make these numbers huge. So that makes each box 3. So that would mean that C would be 12. So A is 1, B is 2, and C is 12. How did I decide on those values? I kept the number small. And I evaluated. I didn't spell small right. So evaluate's just a fancy way for plugging in or replacing. Now, you could have chosen larger numbers if you wanted to. You could have chosen 2, 2 and 3, and that would have changed your C value, however you wanted to do it. Okay, so possible values for X and Y, and then Z. So I'm going to stick with that same strategy. I'm going to go 2, 2, 2, 2. I'm going to make that 3. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means 2 is equal to X, 3 is equal to Y, and 11 is equal to Z. How did I decide on those values? I chose small numbers. And replaced my values. All right, so every picture tells a story. So it says, Mai made 50 flyers for 5 volunteers. In her club, she hung up around school. She gave 5 flyers to the first volunteer, 18 to the second, and divided the remaining flyers equally among the 3 volunteers. So if I wanted to figure out what X is, I know I'm going to put that together. So that's going to give me 18 plus 22 is going to be, oh, not 22, 18 plus 5. I don't know where I got 22 from. 5, I get 23. And then I've got 3 X's, and that's going to be equal to 50, right? So I have to take the 23 away from the 50 to figure out what's left for these kids. So I'm going to subtract 23 on each side because I want to use the opposite. I want to zero that out. So I'm left with 27 equals 3x. And then I'm going to divide by 3, and I end up with x equals 9. So I know that each one of these x's is 9, so I'm going to test it and see if my theory is true. So I have 23 plus 9, that'll give me 32, plus another 9, that'll give me 41, plus another 9 is 50. So write the equation and solve it. It was 3x plus 23 equals 50. All right, so now it says, to thank her 5 volunteers, Mai gave each of them the same number of stickers. Then she gave them each 2 more stickers. Altogether, she gave them a total of 30 stickers. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ys, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 2, so that's 10. So that's my equation. Okay, so I want to think of a number that I could replace in here. So let's try 2. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's too small. So let's try 3. So that's 3 plus 2 is 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's too small. Let's try 4. So I'm like guessing and testing. 4 plus 2 is going to give me 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So each y is worth 4. So if I wanted to solve it, I could start with my equation. 5y plus 10 equals 30. So I'm going to zero out first. So 10 and negative 10 make a 0 pair, and I'm left with 20. And then I'm left with 5y. So now to undo it, to undo multiplication, I'm going to divide by 5 on each side because I want to get, I want to figure out what it is for 1. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and I'm left with 4. So this is the standard way to solve. This is a guess and test. You choose your method, but you need to have a way of solving. For the next one, Mai distributed another group of flyers among 5 volunteers. She remembered that she needed some flyers to give to teachers, so she took 2 flyers from each volunteer. Then the volunteers had a total of 40 flyers to hang up. So I know that I have 40, and I want to get it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, right? So I have to think 5 times what is 40? Well, it's 8. So I want each of these boxes to equal 8. So what minus 2 is going to give me 8? 10. So I know each of these W's is 10. Because I was trying to work backwards. So now they want an equation. So I can say 5 groups of W minus 2 equal 40. So I'm going to use the distributive property. And remember, we learned this last year. So 5W and then 5 times a negative 2. So that's going to be a negative 10. It's going to equal 40. So now to zero out, I'm going to add 10 to each side because I want to create a 0 pair. So negative 10 and positive 10 make 0, and I'm left with 50 and 5W. So now I have to figure out what it is for 1W. So I want to divide by 5 because the opposite of multiplication is division. And I'm left with W equals 10. So either strategy will work. The next one says Noah and his sister are making gift bags. He puts 3 erasers in each bag. His sister puts X stickers in each bag. After filling 4 bags, they have used a total of 44 items. So I know my total is 44. I know they did 4 groups. And we know that it's 3 plus X because we don't know how many stickers we're talking about. So I know I have 44, and I'm splitting it into 4 groups. So each rectangle needs to equal 11. So what plus 3 equals 11? Well, I know that 8 plus 3 is going to equal 11. So x equals 8. So now let's use an equation to solve it. So I have 4 groups of 3 plus x, and that's going to equal 44. So I'm going to use the distributive property. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times x is 4x equals 44. So I'm going to subtract 12 on each side because I want to zero out, and I'm left with 4x and 32. So I'm going to divide each side by 4, and I find out that x equals 32. I'm sorry, not 32, 8. Good goo, Katie. All right, for the next one, Nora's family also wanted to blow up a total of 60 balloons. So the total goes down here. Yesterday they blew up 24 balloons. And today they want to split the remaining balloons equally among 4 family members. So that's 1, 2. I need to make that look more equal. So it's going to be x, 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 x. So I have to figure out, well, how much are they splitting between these 4? So 60 minus 24, well, that leaves me with 36, and I have 4 members, so I'm dividing by 4. So x is going to be 9. So now I'm going to write an equation. So I have 4 x's, and then I have the 24 balloons they blew up yesterday, and that's all equal to 60. So I'm going to zero out. So I end up with 36. That creates a 0 pair, so I'm left with 4x. Now I want to find out what it is for 1x. So instead of multiplying by 4, I'm going to divide each side by 4 because 4 divided by 4 leaves me with 1x. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So each family member blew up 9 balloons. All right, Noah's family bought some fruit bars to put in gift bags. They bought 1 box of 4 flavors: apple, strawberry, blueberry, and peach. The boxes all had the same number of bars. Noah wanted to taste the flavors and ate 1 bar from each box. There were 28 bars left for the gift bags. So that's 28. We know that there were 4 groups, right? And we know that he ate a bar out of each one. So that's x minus 1, x minus 1, x minus 1, x minus 1. So he ate 4 bars total. So I know that 28 split into 4 groups is going to give me 7. So I want to figure out something minus 1 equals 7. So I have to figure out how many bars were in each box. So 8 minus 1 equals 7. So I think x equals 8. So now I'm going to use an equation. So I have 4 groups of x minus 1, and that's going to equal 28. So I have 4x, because I'm using the distributive property, and then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, equals 28. I'm going to zero out, so I'm going to add my 4, and I get 32. Now I have to figure out what it is for 1x. So x equals 8. So I end up with, there are 8 bars in each box, and there must have been 2 of each flavor. That's what I'm guessing. All right, so now you're going to do your cool down. I need you to tell me which matches with each one, and then go ahead and submit.